This is Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out, and today I'm joined by Jesus Mono Ramos. Of course, fighting out of America, Arizona. You fight with PBC. You're 15-0 with 14 of those wins by knockout. And you did all of that at the age of 19. You're now 20, obviously, in the last week. So happy birthday. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Enjoying my family after a great win, and like you said, my birthday. So just good to be being together with them, and we're back to training this week though. So it's back to reality.
There's no rest at the Triple Threat gym. How young were you when you got involved in boxing then? Because you go to such a great gym now, Triple Threat, as I mentioned, that you're like around the likes of Terence Crawford, Jamel Herring, Maurice Hooker. I know you've been in communication with as well. How's it been around those type of people from a young age?
It's great, man. We started boxing. I was like 4 or 5, so I've been doing this for a long time, and then we were able to connect with people like I said, like you said, Terence Crawford, Maurice Hooker. And I mean, that's been great. It's helped me a lot in my career, especially right now. And I think because I'm so young, I'm able to soak everything up, their knowledge, their experience, their advice. So I think that's what's helped me out the most, being able to just be open-minded and learn from them.
How does it go when you get in the ring, when you spar with Terence Crawford? Because you obviously know he's one of the world's best right now. Talk to me about the sparring sessions.
Yeah, man, they're real intense. We do 4-minute rounds. So I mean, you got to think every minute of that round. With Terence Crawford, he's always trying to set something up, and you can't make any mistake. You have to be sharp and ready and alert for anything he does, because he'll come at you at any time. So you got to be ready for anything.
And he's a switch hitter. You're a southpaw, of course. What sort of difficulties do you pose for everyone you face because of the stance that you are?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that, and I like to be creative. I like to be creative with my punches. I like to, and being a southpaw, I have to do that. Because no one sees the southpaw. It's hard to get southpaw work. So I think that's what benefits me. The creativeness and my southpaw. Yeah.
And I can see on your top, it says future world champ. I know you've set a
Yeah.
goal of being champion by 21. Is that a goal of being world champion by 21? What are your aims at the moment?
Yeah, it is to be a world champion at
Wow.
21. So I got a year. I got a year to go now. The countdown begins. But I mean, this year I just got to stay active. I got to stay active, fighting tough fighters. And the first one is coming in April. Against Javier
Okay.
Molina, the Olympian.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough fight. I think it's a good step up for me. And he's never been stopped. He has 3 losses. He's never been stopped. He's tough. So my goal, throughout this whole training camp is to stop him, to be the first one to stop him, and just look good. Impress everyone.
So a guy that's never been stopped versus someone who's stopped over 90% of his opponents. That's gonna be an intriguing matchup. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. So how talk to me about how you got signed by PBC, because obviously you're very young, and I'm sure, if I am correct, you had to wait until you were 18 to fight under their banner in America.
Yeah, yeah. I was fighting in Mexico when I was 17, and I was looking real good. I was knocking people out, and we started taking tougher fights down in
Oh, okay.
Mexico against good competition. And at the time I had a manager, and we were sending out videos to Louis de Cubas and everybody that worked with Al Heyman, and they were really impressed by me. They were really impressed. They signed me, without me even competing in the state, ever. They signed me. They took the chance on me, and I'm proud. To this point, I think I'm impressed.
And obviously, we've mentioned the people that you've been around at the gym. I just want to, from a UK perspective, obviously, there's a big fight with Carl Frampton. He's got a big UK support. Carl Frampton versus Jamel Herring. How do you think that's going to go?
I think that's a tough fight for Jamal Herring. I think it's gonna be tough, but I've been in camp with him. I know where his mindset's at. He's working hard. He's motivated. This is a tough fight, but he doesn't want to lose that belt. and he's working hard for that, man. And like you said, Carl Frampton, he's real good. He's real talented, but I'm not sure he's working as hard as Jamal Herring is. Jamal Herring is working real hard, man. And I think Jamal Herring pulls it off.
And how many big fights or fights in general do you think he has after this? Because he spoke about not having too much left in his tank now. Do you think after this year, maybe he will look at retirement?
I think so. I think he's up there in the age. Maybe after Carl Frampton, maybe one more fight to just close out his career. But I think he's done enough. He's a champion, and if he retires a champion, that's something great for him.
Of course. And I want to ask you a few more questions about yourself. But while we're on predictions, just one more. Ortiz Hooker, which is happening in 10 days from now. That's a great fight. And I know you know Maurice Hooker as well. Yeah. Virgil Ortiz is signed by MTK. So it's going to be a war on March the 20th. What are your sort of pre-fight predictions? I'm sure you'll have Hooker, but how do you think he can manage himself in that fight?
No, I think what's gonna happen is Virgil Ortiz. I think he doesn't have the type of experience that Hooker has. I think he's going to come out overly aggressive. I think he's going to want to hurt Hooker, take his head off, and I think that's what Hooker's going to capitalize on. After like the 6th, 7th round, I feel like Ortiz is going to start to slow down because Hooker goes to the body real good. Mm-hmm. So I think Ortiz is going to start to slow down, and then that's where Hooker comes in. In the later rounds, of course. Yeah. But like I said, it's gonna be a tough fight. Like it's gonna be real tough. Ortiz is young, and he's got big dreams too. So Hooker has to be tough in there. But I think he can pull it off.
And talking of welterweights, there's a lot of people who you could be facing in a few years because it's a stacked division at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's real stacked, especially with PBC. We got everybody. Sean Porter, Ugas.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned him as well, haven't you?
Yeah, Ugas. Yeah.
Yeah.
he beat my uncle, man. So
yeah,
we kind of had to go for that one.
And what's for the people who haven't seen many of your fights? How would you describe your boxing style? What's your most dangerous weapon? I know your right hook's one that's been used very damagingly.
Yeah, I think I have power in both hands. I think I have power with both of them. But my favorite punch is my jab, and I think it's dead. I think it's real dangerous. I think it's not a normal jab. I think I hit hard with my jab too. It's like a right hand. So I mean, I don't know. I think I can fight, and I switch right-handed too, so I can fight both ways.
Yeah.
And I mean, my style is more like setting punches up, man. I like to set my stuff up. A lot of people classify me as a power puncher, but I like to be smart in there. I like to set my punches up, set traps, and I think that's how I get the knockouts.
Would you describe yourself as a typical Mexican boxer? Because I think from the outside looking in, you're kind of got a different style to the classic Mexican type of boxing performance. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. They'd like to come forward. I like to come forward, but just in a different way, more creative. I like to work the body though. That's something that I do like to do. Work the body a lot.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that. Is that a position that you smell blood in a lot? Can you see when your opponent's feeling the pain when you go to the body?
Yeah, especially certainly, especially when they're slowing down. Little by little, you can feel it. You can feel the breaking, and I like that. That's the best part of working the body.
How many fights do you think you're going to have this year then? Because we're still early on. You've had your first fight and you had a lot in 2020 since the pandemic. You've had 4 since the pandemic. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah.
4 since the pandemic. So yeah. Or is it 3? Is it 4 or 3?
It's 3. Yeah, it's 3.
It's 3. So I was going to say I said 4 and then so 3 since the pandemic, which is still good compared to a lot of boxers and obviously at this stage of your career as well. So how many do you expect to have going forward in 2021?
Our plans are to get 5 fights this year. We want to fight. If everything goes good, you never know, a cut or an injured hand or anything. But if everything goes good, we want to fight. April. and June again, and then just stay active, get 5 fights, and hopefully everything goes smoothly this year for us.
Brilliant. Well, one more thing before I let you go. Obviously, we've mentioned that you're in America. You've got a Mexican background, I believe.
Yeah.
But
My whole family's
it
from
does,
Mexico.
yeah. It doesn't have to be Mexican, but who's your favorite fighter of all time? It can be an American fighter, it can be a Mexican fighter. Who's the fighter that you've looked up to from a young age?
Of all time, Ricardo Finito Lopez. He's my idol.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah, since I
interesting.
was
That
okay.
is. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Why specifically is it him?
Because of his technique. He was always so technical. He was, he had a beautiful stance, and he would always stick with it. And he was always so humble too. I like to
Yeah.
when I study Ricardo Lopez, it's his boxing and his interviews, because he was always so humble and just a great guy,
Yeah,
great human being.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you fight again multiple times this year. Actually, I do have one more for you. As you've mentioned, you do want to fight, and you have over 90% KO ratio. Are you going to look to try and have fights that last a bit longer, or are you just going to try and run through everyone that comes and stands in front of you?
I try to make my fights go longer. I don't go out there looking for the kill. The
There's
knockout
nothing
just
you can do
happens.
about those hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But hopefully April 24th we go a little more rounds. Get that experience in with Javier Molina. Well, we're hoping for that.
Brilliant.
Hopefully.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.